What's up, guys? It's your boy madao, and I'm bringing you some non-live Pokemon Showdown battles. This is a double header because one, this battle is actually a pretty good one. The other one was like, yo, this is how you don't play. Anyway, I'm sorry for the way it looks. I kind of recorded it wrong, but whatever. It looks perfectly fine, I guess, just to get to see all the chat and crap. Anyway, he goes for Bronzong. I lead off with my Suicune. I do decide to set up my Calm Minds and the substitute because he can't really touch me, as he does end up revealing to me that he is a special attacking Bronzong, which is kind of caught me off guard. But I guess Mienshao has to look out for that later on in the match. Now he ends up setting in his Lantern, and I stay in and go for the Surf, really because I did not know if it was Water Absorb or Volt Absorb. Because that Surf did do damage, that proves to me that it is Volt Absorb. Now, because I know he's going to go for the Thunderbolt again, easy switch on to Amoga. Then I can Encore him and get the +2 speed and Baton Pass and hopefully attempt to get a early sweep going on. However, I do predict the Crocodile switching, and I end up going for the Hidden Power Grass. It does absolutely nothing. Well, it does do a decent amount, but not as much as I thought it would. But I decided to Baton Pass into my Suicune because it can't really touch me. However, he ends up going for the Bulk Up, essentially giving me a free switch, and since I am at +2 speed, this Surf will be able to knock it out. So now that this Crocodile is gone, I know, honestly, I don't really have to worry about the Crocodile at all, other than what Bisharp. Now walks the Miltank, and I can't really touch Miltank. I could decide to set up my sub and Calm Minds, however, I don't know if he has Seismic Toss or not, so he turns out to not have Toxic instead of Thunder Wave, which actually works out in my favor because my Amoga has another chance to Baton Pass. He ends up switching out into Lantern this turn. I do Baton Pass as he does switch out, and then I go into my Rotom Cut, obviously, because it's a nice counter to the the Lantern, and I go for Leaf Storm because why not? Even the Heracross, who resists that, took a hefty amount of damage from that choice spec Leaf Storm. Now, I end up setting in my Amoga because, in all honesty, my Amoga is a Heracross counter. I'm sorry, Amoga can counter Heracross for days, and especially if it's carrying Roost. Mine happens to not carry Roost, but still, look at how much damage that is. The close combat wouldn't have done that much better, and I could have just knocked him out with the T-Bolt afterwards. Now, I do end up predicting the Lantern switch and kind of figuring he's going to try to get his HP back, so I go for Hidden Power Grass and the switch. Then I'm able to knock out the Lantern with the Hidden Power Grass directly after, so that's beautiful because now the Lantern is now gone, and I'm pretty much free to go for T-Bolts as much as I want. It does decide to send a Chandelure, which, you know what, I really don't care about because Porygon 2 is the perfect Chandelure counter in the game. And he reveals to me that he is the Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and I'm guessing Heat Wave. I didn't exactly see what it was. Maybe Flamethrower and Sub set. Doesn't really matter because I do carry the Toxic, so he does allow me to get that Toxic up. So you know, this thing is not scaring me at all, especially since I could just chip away some damage with T-Bolts. So anyway, look at this. Look at the bulk of Porygon 2. I'm at -1 special defense. He has that +2 special attack, and this is Chandelure. It's not even a 2 color. Like, that's ridiculous. Now, he does end up sending a Miltank, who does actually carry the Heal Ball. But I decided to switch out, going to my Amoga, figuring he's either going to take T-Wave or he might even decide to Heal Ball, and I could just Encore him. Because I Encored him last time, I'm just going to go straight for the T-Bolts, expecting him to predict that. He ends up predicting me instead and going for the Seismic Toss, which is perfectly fine. Because in actuality, I can just switch out into my Mienshao knowing that he is just going to go for the Seismic Toss. Now I can either scare this thing off, or he can try to predict me and go for a T-Wave, in which case he would go down to High Jump Kick. Now he does make a nice play here, switching out into Chandelure. However, I didn't really care because my Mienshao was at a high enough attack where the High Jump Kick would have not KO'd me if he did decide to switch out into the Chandelure. Plus, I got the Porygon 2, who once again is the perfect Chandelure counter. I end up going for the Toxic because why the crap not? I end up setting a Miltank, and now I know he's going to go for the Heal Ball yet again, so I might as well just go out and Tyler my Mienshao, my Amoga. That way I can just High Jump Kick him. I do predict him to go out into Chandelure here, so I decide to go for the U-turn, really just to gain my HP back, and at the same time, because I figured the Chandelure would come in, he ends up predicting that. However, I end up predicting him, and I end up going onto my Amoga as I do predict right as he does go for the Thunder Wave. So now I'm going to go for the Encore this time because he didn't switch out last time, so why the crap not? And it ends up working out in my favor because now I can easily just Baton Pass into whatever I want. Now, he ends up switching out here, going out into the Bronze Zone, who pretty much walls my Molga pretty nicely. And that Thunderbolt actually did a pretty nice chunk of damage. However, after leftovers, it obviously doesn't. Now, I want to predict the Toxic here, go on to my Bisharp. And I can pretty much, after that Toxic pretty much fails because I'm a Steel type, I'm just going to go for a Taunt, figuring he's going to go for Stealth Rocks, and I'm right, he does end up going for that Stealth Rocks. And now, all I really have to do is worry about Earthquake, but because he showed me he's a special attacker, I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just going to go for a Swords Dance. But he ends up setting a Miltank. And this is the bulkiness of Miltank. I go for the Iron Head. This is a +2 life orb Iron Head from Bishop. He survives that. He's able to manage to Thunder Wave on me. And this game would have ended a lot quicker if I did not get T-Wave. He ends up going for a Milk Drink. I end up going for an Iron Head. He lives with 1 HP, which is ridiculous. I could have easily finished him off with another Iron Head. But I decided, you know what, let me just set up another Swords Dance. As he just decided to switch out into Bronze Zone, and I was wrong. I go straight for another Iron Head. But now I decide to set up another Swords. No, I go for Sucker Punch. Okay. And he goes for Stealth Rocks. Okay. And now I decide to set up another Swords Dance, as he does end up going for Protect. I knew I set up another Swords Dance somewhere. And I believe I decided to set up a second Swords Dance, as he decides to set in Heracross. Now, I go for the Sucker Punch, obviously, because Heracross has pretty much nothing but attack moves. I end up knocking it out. And then walks Chandelier. I predict him to go for the Calm Mind, so I do indeed go for the Iron Head. Unfortunately, I get paralyzed. And every single time I play on Pokemon Showdown, Pokemon Line, when I start getting paralyzed, I get paralyzed for like 5 turns in a row. So I just straight switched out into Porygon 2. Once again, the perfect counter. He ends up going out into Bronzong as I go for T-Bolt. And this Bronzong is actually taking a lot of chip damage. On top of that, it just got paralyzed, which could help me out. And it actually does help me out because I do manage to get a free switch right here, as he does get fully paralyzed. And now I could easily go for Swords Dance, as he decides to switch out, going out to that Miltank, predicting my Swords Dance. And he can go for a Seismic Toss, he can go for a Milk Drink, I don't know. I do decide to just go straight for a Iron Head, or no, I decided to go for a Swords Dance. My fault, this game was a while ago. Unfortunately, I get fully paralyzed, and then he goes for Seismic Toss. I do end up going for a Taunt, really, because I figured I could just Sucker Punch him, send in whatever I wanted to Revenge Kill. Unfortunately, I get fully paralyzed yet again, and my Bisharp does go down, ruining my 6-0. Now, I can easily send him Mienshao, but I decided, you know, I'm just going to send a Rotom Cut, because his Chandelier is at low health, so I might as well just stay and go for the Leaf Storm, and it does knock out that Miltank at that range, which is beautiful. So now all he has left is Bronzong and Chandelier, and I'm not too worried about them two, because this Rotom Cut happens to carry HP Fire, which can easily knock out the Bronzong at the range. It will be out after my Mienshao hits it with an Iron Jump Kick, and the Chandelier is not a big deal because of Porygon 2. So I end up going for the U-turn this turn, predicting to Protect. That way he would feel safe to stay in, which he should feel safe to stay in no matter what. But I end up going for that Jump Kick, really just to get as much damage as I can on it. He knocks out my Mienshao, doesn't matter. Don't need Mienshao anymore. He did his job the game. And all I have to do is send in Rotom Cut, go for the Hidden Power Fire. It will completely knock out the Bronzong. Now all he has left is Chandelier, and that is a good game because once again I have the Porygon 2, and on top of that the Chandelier is low health. So once again I'm sorry guys that this isn't a Wi-Fi battle, but I lost my USB that corresponds with my R4, and basically I can't do Wi-Fi until I buy a new one. But anyway, new game. Bronzong versus Whimsicott. This was a while ago, back before Genesect was Ubers. And he tricks me a Black Sludge, which was very unique. I end up encoring him into that trick, getting that Black Sludge back, switching out to my Tentacruel, and then we're swapping Black Sludges. So that was 3 turns of tricking, which did absolutely nothing but hurt him. Now, he ends up sending in his Simisage as I go for the Scald, really because I could have gotten the burn on anything. Then he goes for Knockoff, as I go for the Ice Beam. So really, he can't really touch my Tentacruel. And at the same time, I knock him out with the Scald. Now, his team is actually pretty interesting. He's running the Similar Monsters. Now, this is the game I was talking about, like, how not to play. For instance, he T-Waves my Tentacruel for whatever reason, maybe predicting a switch. But I just stayed in to break his multi-scale. Then he goes for Dragon Tail the turn after for no reason. Then he decides to switch out, as it did go for the Scald. Pretty much the Scald would have knocked out the Dragonite, and I could have gotten the burn on whatever. Then I switch out into my Hydreigon. He ends up predicting to go for an Ice Punch, I guess. But it didn't KO, then I'm easily able to knock it out with Draco. And I'm wondering, why would you go for Ice Punch against a Tentacruel or whatever? Obviously, my Deoxys defense can pretty much wall Simisere. And he ends up setting out Landorus
variant as I just go for the Nightshade, just trying to get damage. I'm not too threatened by the guy because the guy hasn't really shown me any form of skill. Then in walks Bronzong, and I'm like, what can Bronzong do to me other than Earthquake? So I might as well just try to get the skull and burn this thing. But he ends up going for Hypnosis, even though I'm paralyzed. Then he goes for Bulldoze, not even Earthquake. And at this point, I'm like, the fuck? But anyway, I send in Hydreigon, really, because he's obviously going to go for the Bulldoze, and the Black Sludge is going to knock him out. So now, since I am Choice Scarf Hydreigon, I can easily go for the Draco and whatever. Turns out to be the Landorus. Landorus is now gone. So all he has left is a low health Dragonite who knows Aqua Jet on a non-rain team, and I'm able to knock out that Dragonite. Now all he has left is Simisear, and my Deoxys defense will finish him off with the Nightshade. Guys, this is like my opponent. Do not copy his movements. That's how you do not play the game. I'm sorry, but it was an interesting match, if I do say so myself. Once again, I apologize for the lack of Wi-Fi. I'm trying to buy a new one. I just have to go to Radio Shack. But anyway, I'm RG Madao, and I will see y'all later.